You and I are seen out here, and guys are wondering what special material we made of. And as I say, unwaveringly, as you do as well, is that we had to go through a factory institution. But before we actually went through that factory institution, tulipitia mahali.
So we faced the selection board.
Yes.
I mean, sitting here right now, talking about the selection board, really gives me jitters.
Yes.
Because the panel was all made about general, brigadier.
True.
So many other colonels, red collared.
now that we know what they represented.
Yes. But that time, we were civilians. So you come into this room, next.
And you don't know the fate of the previous guy.
Edward Babu Abana, get in. By the left, quick march, left, right. And then you have a very lonely seat
at the center.
At the center.
Dead center.
You have a U shape. You're facing these guys.
That was harsh. But
it wasn't harsh, really.
Fate can sometimes be very harsh.
Yeah.
But the lesson here is you got to just actually take it head on. As I tell people is, it's actually really apparent that no amount of desperation changes any situation.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, no amount of crying, much as those are, really emotions that actually present themselves in some of those things. But spending too much time in desperation has never changed any situation. Facing them head on and not scouting or going around.
And then you find that even up to this date,
yes,
somebody gets checked out at that stage.
Yeah,
they go out.
Yeah,
and then they get to hands of some other con guys.
Yes.
Then, don't worry.
Yeah, we are going to sort you out. We're going to bring you back in. Yes.
They don't know what happens inside.
Yes, absolutely.
All they are for is to fleece some money from you.
Absolutely. So conmanship and all that resident in some of the bad elements in the society take advantage of.
But what I saw, or rather what we saw in there, once you are told that you've been checked out and you are the one selected,
there's no returning.
There's no addition
or subtraction.
Unless subtraction.
Yes.
Based on.
Yes.
Either in discipline or issues of
really gross misconduct or malpractices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But these are some of the things that
happen in the society.
Yeah. They don't know.
Mm-hmm.
They are not enlightened about.
And what you're actually bringing out is really critical and crucial, even to the wider audience that we are trying to enlighten here, and to really touch with the great stories around just the selection, the getting of the raw material, to arrive at the raw material that now takes on this very arduous training that the military or cadet training is. Is that the Army does its level best to actually stay the course, and in terms of the integrity of the processes of selection, all the management of the affairs around even those who fall out of the way, they don't beat around the bush. They tell you you haven't made it because of this, and that.
It's actually a well-tailored program.
Yeah.
And a process.
Yes.
That is almost foolproof.
It's almost foolproof. That's true. Yeah.
That you have to go from this stage to this stage.
Yes.
I never saw anybody circumnavigating.
Yeah.
This stage.
Yes. And ending up in another stage.
No.
Absolutely. Wow, man.
So we really get us as ourselves. Whoever we the ones who are chosen or selected.
Yes.
We had the pride.
Yeah.
That we made it along the process, and we can stand to witness that really we went through a fair and a
just
process. Yeah, sure.
That produced winners among many, because I mean, to give credit to even the guys who got to the first line, to the start line, and were able to get through those many stages of very rigorous program that weeded out quite a number, it's in itself quite something, because I mean, we had it and we were told, and we just, more or less we expected that to be the facts behind everything else that happened, is that a lot of Kenyans of the level of academic performance that they required, height, or all these other things, was so many. They were running into tens of thousands.
I remember of a guy,
yes,
who actually gave up the hands.
Yes.
I don't remember, somebody Mwangi.
Yeah.
He said when we were all laid up in the field.
Yes.
Said I'm so and so. I have this qualification, but I give up.
I don't want to go.
I don't want to go beyond this process.
Yeah.
Because of the past experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It was
that was almost before the selection.
Just
process.
before the selection. I remember.
Yes.
I remember that. I mean, people were allowed to actually put their hands up in the air and literally just give up on themselves.
Nani huyo? Kuja. Kuja hapa. Ati unasema nini?
I give up.
The guy said, I gave up.
Yes.
I'm a graduate.
Yeah, I have a life, guys.
I have a life.
Yeah.
I respect.
Yeah,
So that tells you that the process is actually
very rigorous.
Rigorous. Other than being rigorous, it's actually objective.
Very objective as well.
So most of the folks out there are not aware, number one. They do not know what to expect.
Yes.
But it quite entails a whole package.
Yeah.
For it to be unraveled, and I'm glad that you are providing this platform.
Yeah.
At least we're just giving the
tips
of the expert.
Absolutely, and why this is important is that much as we are sharing our personal stories, it's fun to share our personal stories, but it's very helpful to someone out there who's thinking, am I just looking for work? And in all sincerity, I'm thinking, that is okay, that's a valid point. But the most important bit would be that if, because knowledge really forewarns, and knowledge equips you with the necessary information that inadequate and important to inform, decisive actions. And I'm thinking someone listening to this out there should be thinking that, you know what, I'm not going to be bribing my way into the system. I'm not going to be wanting to cut corners. I'm not going to be that guy. Because ideally, beyond just work and this being a job opportunity, there's the requirement that you got to actually be the right raw material. And so if you think and you have full conviction that you are not inspired by these very reasons, then there's no reason as to why you should actually waste.
Actually, this is not supposed.
This guy's time and money and resources to put you through a process.
One thing that we really need to get into.
Yeah.
The ones who want to join in.
Yes.
There is not a work.
Yes.
It's not a paying job.
Yes.
This is a service.
Absolutely.
It's a service.
Yes.
Because for us who have been there, whether it's a weekend or not a weekend, a holiday, no holiday.
Be called to respond to call of duty, you know?
Yes. As in, you are on off, but you are still on standby.
Absolutely.
So it's not a work per se that somebody like ILO would predetermine that you are supposed to work for 8 hours per day.
Yeah.
This is a service. I mean, you are on 24/7.
Absolutely.
365. Then we used to say 366.
Yes, there's that little bit more that you can give when called upon to, right?
So it's not a career, or it's really service to humanity.
Absolutely. And man, we cannot overemphasize the importance of just the programs that go into just selecting the raw material that at the end of the day gets stamped as that fit, whatever folder.
The selection board.
By the selection board to now get to the next level, which ideally is the training itself, right? And that starts with a bang. You know, after the selection, it's got to be realized that actually you're out there, you put out there, and you're told categorically that you guys are now the raw material to now undertake.
No. It never dawned on us.
It never does until.
It never dawned on us because after the selection board,
yes,
it was all euphoria.
Yeah.
Nimepata kazi. Yeah. So we are calling guys back in the university and campus.
Back home.
Back home. Nimechukuliwa. And then the military has a very sarcastic way of doing things.
Yes.
You are released for a break.
Yes.
It was 1 week.
It was 1 week. Oh, you get back on a Sunday. But before then, you actually handed over to the regimental sergeant major.
Yeah.
You know, after the selection board, you actually.
Nyinyi ndio mmepita. I remember the guy was called Mlandi, warrant officer 1.
Yeah.
So much respect for him.
Terror.
Oh man.
Terror.
Hii ndio watu yako. Hadi. But it was kind of a mixed reaction.
Yes.
You're happy on this one end. A bit frightened.
Yes.
Actually, two extremes converging into one singular. But it was nice.
It was nice.
Being told that umepata kazi baba.
Man, after laboring for those 2 weeks that looked like eternity.
2 weeks.
Looked like eternity. And so, you know, the fun about it was that beyond this reporting on phone and all, you are given a week to actually go home, you know, and get back now to start training proper. And part of the instruction was, you guys are going home. When you come back fully prepared, mentally, physically, to undertake this training. It's not going to be easy. It was made fully, you know, clear to us. It's not going to be easy. This is going to be unreasonably too long a time for you guys in this college. Actually, there's one CSM that was infamous for telling us, this is going to be an abnormally too long a time. You know, it's going to be about 88.
Yeah, the Air Force guy.
Yes, 88 weeks in college. So man, we go home and we come back. It was on a Sunday, if you remember.
Actually, let me touch on the going back home thing. I remember, I think the Nakuru Nairobi highway was still under construction. So we ended up buying newspapers.
Yes.
At Nakuru stage. And then the one most funny thing was, all of us were donned in suits. All of us had newspapers. But by the time the Matatu is leaving Nakuru stage, we hardly got to the Lanet Junction. All of us were sleeping. So newspapers strewn all over because sleep deprivation was there.
Yes.
Fatigue. Boss, nisaidia na hii gazeti nisome. Sawa, chukua. So anyway, that could only tell the amount of energy and work and
invested
time invested
in these 2 weeks
in that selection.
Yeah.
And then you get home, people are happy, of course.
Yes.
You've been taken on board.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, in the midst of a conversation,
you are asleep.
Of course, dozing off. And then somebody says, Bona, yes, sir. They start laughing at you.
Yeah, you were told everybody is a Fande, sir or madam.
Yes.
So you are home.
Imagine only 2 weeks, huh? But already your brain has been...
Yes, you're indoctrinated in a way.
Which is good. Huh?
Yes.
That's why we are doing this.
Absolutely.
Making of a military officer. That the military officer
So
has to come out from the civilian life.
Yes, you were broken and made into some semblance of.
Yeah.
So 2 weeks was sufficient enough to implant in you a sense
You
of.
could, even if you are married by then.
Yeah.
Even
you,
if
you could call your
wife,
spouse
mom,
Afande.
madam, Afande. Yeah, that's how rigorous it was. I remember my grandfather was telling me, because he came all the way to Nairobi, and then one day I fell asleep on the couch, and then.
Yeah. Your grandfather wakes you up.
Yeah. Yes, sir. And then burst into laughter.
Wow.
Only 2 weeks.
Man. So we are back on Sunday.
Yes.
That was the reign of terror starting.
From the main gate.
From the main gate.
You are no longer
Civilian?
aspirants
Yes.
of cadetship.
Yes.
You are actually cadets. Adorned properly, nice attires.
Yes. Nearly everybody got back in.
Whether you come in, we were only given the time not to come,
yes,
or to report.
Beyond which time?
Beyond which.
Wachana nayo usikuje.
So whether you come in at 9
yes, a.m.
or whether you come in at 1600 hours,
yes,
the treatment is the same.
Was the same.
Cadet, enda chini. Somewhere in sagging trousers. Enda chini. I remember some of cadets were carrying some home clothes. Bebe kwa sanduku. Frog marching.
In suitcases.
Yes. I mean, it was quite an experience.
It was horrendous.
It was actually the beginning of 100 and?
That was
188
weeks. Yeah? It was too long a time to actually stick in there. Yeah? And 22 months in college. And remember, for us it was 22 months plus a few more weeks. Because the commander-in-chief at that time had a bit of, health probes. And so our graduation was very pushed by 2 weeks or so, which proved to be extremely too long a time to actually, live for that extra duration in college. And so you were in there.
But the inception bit...
Yes, was horrendous.
Was horrendous. I mean, whatever we were going through was a bit programmatic.
Yes.
You are going to do this tomorrow, but now we are coming in as cadets.
Yes.
So we are totally blind.
Yes.
Of what we expect, but we have a glimpse of what that place really
will look like. But shock on us. Yeah. That was completely horrendous. I mean, you go into a phase that you cannot predict. And I remember clearly, with that very, strangely, and it was done deliberately, yeah.
Everything is done meticulously planned
and very deliberately to actually just break you. And part of it was to actually just push into your psyche that extreme shock by the shock action, of course, that they kept that tempo, just like this fire that keeps burning. Sometimes it goes low and sometimes it comes up. And that was the kind of mix.
The fuel is always there.
But the fuel is always there.
Yeah, you are coming out from this program into another.
Yes.
So rigorous.
Yes, it's low intensity, but then it's really challenging, perhaps mentally more than even the physical bits. And so, I mean, we can jump it here now into selection, training proper. The day one of training. Day one of training. If I remember pretty well, as much as you do, the program, of course, the instructors at the other end knew it, and they grabbed it by the tail, and they were wagging us.
Yes.
But for our awareness, it ran, the longest it went into this 8 weeks was just 1 week. You're given a week worth of program.
Only physical training program that had a 5 minutes break and then you're told, "Hey, cadet, mwende mkae huko kwa fence muangalie raia wenu huko nje vile wanafurahia maisha."
And you are here dying.